Steve here. Welcome to Red Flag Life. Us red flaggers have a right to also get on with life, even though we got into the red flags of bankruptcy, single parenthood, reaching an older age without children, the whole single mom complex, unmotivated men, non-alpha men. I don't know. There's many red flags out there, right? The crazy, good-looking matrix, the XY axis. The fellas know about that. Red flags in there. Hypergamists. Oh, the hypergamous women and their hypergamy. Yes, they are hypergamous, but the fellas are also hypergamists in the looks department, right? So we're all beating each other up, but this is a human race, not a human sit on the couch. There's some healthy competition for us. Women are hypergamists. Good. You didn't expect that, did you? But many are hypergamists. Grandiosely. Women have a greater sense of their status versus the men. And that's part of the issue. So today's theme, subject matter, clickbait, riffing, diatribe, or even soliloquy. It's about gold diggers. So feeding into the whole gold digger thing with the hypergamy thing, right? Let's unpack that today. I'll be thought of as a gold digger if I ask the man about his finances. I agree with Stefan Molyneux's thoughts on the whole examining, vetting a man's earning potential. It's essential for a woman to find out what a man is capable of. Oh, you didn't expect that, did you? No, I didn't expect that a few years ago from me, but let's face it, it's fairly essential. Historically, coming from a evolutionary biologist sort of standpoint, yes, I'm part of a church parish. It's not congruent, is it? But it's complicated. Okay, you need to, knowing oppositions, knowing your enemies is sometimes quite essential, important, advantageous. Yeah. So, evolutionarily speaking, women had it pretty tough throughout human history, even up until the present, in a different way. Women have maybe too much freedom, and it's doing their life in. They become red flags at a very young age because the whole incentives complex is screwed up. Since the late 60s, with the whole no-fault divorce thing, and women, they can still have an okay life by making mistakes. Before we used to have a case where, whoopsie, mum's 38 and she's just had a baby. Well, often it was the 17-year-old's baby. They just went on holidays. Whoopsie-doo. It's mum's new baby, but it's the first daughter's baby, really, right? Shotgun weddings. You know the deal. You know the spiel, right? And if a woman before used to make a mistake, it was costly. it's certainly costly now. They're a red flag, but they can still have a, comparatively speaking, historically speaking, a fairly comfortable life with government handouts when they make mistakes, knowing or unknowingly. They choose to divorce when, the man is only on 30, 50 grand a year, or 20 grand, whatever the case may be in your country, with the minimum wage, or what the average wage is, and the woman can actually break even with the government handouts. But with women, many women, let's say many women, they make calculations for the now. I need to feed my kids now. They don't see when they're 55. They don't get any more handouts when their last child has flown the coop, or they hit 18 and the payments gone. They're the new poor. They're the new almost homeless. Like, a woman can't really be homeless. A 55-year-old woman, for example, they just have to provide access for the 70, 80-year-old man, and they got a place to live. There's no homelessness with women, unless you're seriously mentally ill. Fine, it happens. Sorry to simplify that in that way and using that demographic, but that's why women need to see what the motivation and the status and the finances of the man is. The man will kick up a stink, disagree, or think, oh, you're a gold digger. Today's subject. Don't be so stick in the mud. Don't be so entitled. Don't be an alpha would understand whatever alpha means to different people, but a man of particular high status understands that asking for a man's financial impressions, financial disclosure, financial potential, their outlook should be thought of as a compliment, because the woman, hopefully she's a fairly high status woman, for the chap, for the dude, for the guy, for the man, that's a compliment, because she's looking at sticking with you if you'll only stick with her, and that's what she's desperately looking for. And hopefully there's a good match up there, and the guy should not be so prickly, oppositional, or think of the woman as a gold digger if she asks. How do you see our future? That's the other thing. How do you see our future? What are your finances like? That's a compliment. It's essential, because I'll extend on the whole history factor. If a woman made a mistake, it was even a worse red flag than these days to have a child out of wedlock. There was no social security back then. There was a burden on families. That's why even half a century ago there was the whole chaperone complex, taking your older brother along on dates, having doors open, at least one foot on the floor. I'll tell you what, they still get things done with the foot, or both feet on the floor as well, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there was a lot of fertility control for necessity's sake in the past. For lack of a better concept or word, the whole freedom of women, it's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but women are making decisions. Their incentives aren't a little bit screwed up, because they know if they they get pregnant and they know they'll be supported these days with the whole social security complex. Sometimes it's a calculated decision. You know, you've heard the guys in guy spaces. I've heard of the whole sperm jacked complex. Oh, my period. I'm on my period. My period's due tomorrow. I'm on the pill. It's all good. Let's go for it. Whoopsie, pregnancy. Many times. Don't have a go at me. It's not all the time. Many times, women have made a calculated choice to go down the route of pregnancy because children at that time, they're not thinking about the age of 40 plus, 55 plus and beyond. They're just thinking about the next couple of years. It's income. Children mean income these days, and for some women, how they make decisions, how their logic happens in their brain, they feel that they can't contribute, particularly in a workforce type situation, so their income is the children. It's not the women that you blame. It should be the whole government handout social security complex out there, okay? I'm just checking the time, minute 12. I won't go too far, I don't think, today. So, hypergamy is good. Is good. We are in a human race. Maybe it will get the gamer dudes off their ass, especially if we stop the porn. Going back to the porn episode, whenever that was, the last few back, rather than the whole barometer with the men, their choices of not being motivated for careers, not going to uni. That's their social barometer. Why should I try? All this woke stuff and is going to disadvantage me. That's why you have the whole living in your mom's basement complex. Oh, the gamers complex. I don't blame the fellas, and I don't blame the women for their choices of, I'll be better off with a child. You have a child, which is great, but it's for many women also a transaction. It's a transaction. Unfortunate, isn't it? And we can't blame the fellas and the women. The government, we can blame more so, but guess what? We're voting the government in. What a concept. This tautology, this roundabout, what, chicken or the egg, it's complicated. I've unpacked it a little bit, get you to think a little bit. I've got some convictions there, but it's not too, it won't be liked, and it's just to get people thinking, okay? So hypergamy is okay, all right? It's helpful. I've said the whole women barometer thing, where women, the whole 50s man with the suit and the clean shaved and the hat. Women thought that society was going great back then, These days, high status women go for the tougher guy, beards, tats. Not that I'm one of them. muscles. Sometimes if you've been in jail, the woman thinks he's tough, he's going to protect me. So that's a barometer of you need a tough man, because women see society in the shithole in future, their future outlook, their barometer. So it's just a little bit of an extension of what I've mentioned about women as barometers, but also men are a barometer as well. But women, they have a lot of power. Molyneux said this, men propose, women dispose. Women have a lot of power. Women do the choosing. In a way, like, yes, men approach, but the women actually choose. Oh, he chose me. No, you chose. You chose. This is coming from the woman. Yeah. That's where it's at. So men, take it if you get questions about your income, your future outlook. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. And if you're a sort of man that would like a career woman, having double income is good for a family. That's fine, but don't expect that will actually go down. Expect that a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women will expect maybe it pays to stay at home. Some women are quite cluey that if they're only capable of getting that $20 an hour job, answering phone calls and being an accounts manager and receptionist, telephonist, it only works out to a couple of bucks if you have a family, paying for childcare, second car, some clothing and some meals, some lunches, eating out and that sort of thing. A couple of bucks an hour, it's not worth it. But if you're, a lot of female engineering graduates don't end up doing any work. They're never employed as engineers. Let me tell you, I don't know figures, but if it's not 1 in 2 that have never worked as an engineer after graduating as an engineer, I'll be very surprised. Anyway, I said I won't be too long. Incentives are screwed up with the whole nanny state, the whole social security government handout complex that we have. Women are making mammalian decisions, even though they like to be angels. Yes, the whole mammal and angel thing that I borrow from Stefan Molyneux. Thanks, Stefan, for introducing that syllogism into the world. I hope I can use it. I hope I'm not butchering it too much in this space. And I hope I'm contributing something more in a positive manner, okay? So, gold digging, all right. But don't be too delusional, ladies. If you think you're a 7 where you're really a 4, let's tighten up where you are. The guys are not too bad. The guys pretty much know if they're a 4, they're a 4. Okay? And also, one last insight to end today's recording on is that when a woman asks, do you consider myself pretty? Well, just respond, and they'll probably appreciate this by saying, I don't think I know a woman that doesn't know how beautiful she is. I think you know where you are on the prisoners' beauty stakes. She'll just think, whoa, that's so hard. That's so intelligent to come back at that point. I'd probably qualify that in saying yes, you're pretty, but you know, women know how pretty they actually are. I don't know. Try that one, fellas. Anyway, that's it for now. See ya.